I know you'll be aware through television bulletins in your own papers of what happened on February 22nd, but in fact what's been occurring in Christchurch has been an unprecedented seismic event. They've seen nothing like this in a built-up city in the world in terms of the number of earthquakes that it's suffered. Christchurch was certainly lucky no more. This is our ground zero. This is the CTV building where 115 people were killed. The photographer who took this shot, Caris Monteith, was driving down Manchester Street when the quake hit. At the time, Caris was 16 weeks pregnant, and it didn't occur to her that she wouldn't continue working that day. I'm going to show you a video now, a couple of comments on it. The videographer Dan Tobin was out shopping when the quake hit. He ran back into the damaged press building to get his video gear. The reporter who's working with him, she'd been employed with us for 3 months, straight out of journalism school. And you'll see as they come around to the front of the cathedral, Dan starts shouting some instructions to a photographer walking towards him, talking about dead bodies. The photographer, John Kirk Anderson, simply cannot remember that conversation or even seen them out on the streets. He was concentrating so hard on what he was doing.
1 o'clock. Yeah?
Yep, okay, come on, keep walking.
It's just after 1 p.m. on Tuesday, the 22nd of February.
Yep.
We've just been hit by a devastating earthquake in Christchurch again. I'm one of the reporters from the press building. I was upstairs when it hit. Buildings fell down. We're out in Christchurch Cathedral Square at the moment. As you can see, people are just gathering.
We were in the library, up in the top.
The spire of the Christchurch Cathedral has fallen down.
These dead people, these people can't. Okay. That was the cathedral spire. It's down.
Yeah, I was upstairs. It got really bad, so I dived under the table. Something landed on the table and crushed the table in half, which got me, and then I turned around to find him, and it was dust, and he just went straight through the floor.
Way, so yeah.
Put him on the bed, put him on the bed. Put him on the bed.
I think one of the hard things for people to understand is that it isn't just the fear and anxiety from those 3 earthquakes when you hit you on those days. It's the aftershocks that follow, both on the day and ongoing. It's not all bad though. The Kinsey Institute has calculated that the residents of Christchurch have now experienced more aftershocks in the past year than the average person will have sex in their lifetime. So if the earth is not moving for you, you know where to come, so to speak. In an extraordinary year, how does a newspaper keep on top of a story? Well, pretty much like everybody does, really. We do it story by story, we do it picture by picture, and we do it edition by edition. I can't tell you how many people in Christchurch have written or rung us or just bumped into us on the street and said to us how important it was to them that they received that paper the next day. We have a saying in Christchurch now, the new normal, because there is nothing the same as was before. But the paper has become a little bit of old normal that has continued through it. And particularly in those early days, in a city with no power, there was no television news. You had radio if you had a battery-powered one, and you'd remember to have some batteries nearby. No way to read the internet once your laptop battery ran out. The paper told people what had happened, and crucially on page 2 every day, where to go for the simple things, like where to find water, food, or simply ask for help. Some of the lessons that I can bring you from a mad year like that. First of all, where's the BCP? For those of you in management levels, you'll probably know that a BCP stands for a business continuity plan. What will we do when things go really wrong? Mine's sitting up on the top left there. That's my office they're pulling down. That's where my BCP is. If they're in bits of paper, they're a complete waste of time to you. BCP, emergency, you have to practice it. The only reason that we could react and work so well on February 22nd was because we'd had practice. We were lucky. We were lucky that there was an aftershock in Wednesday back in September that forced us to get back out and find how to do things differently. Boxing Day again gave us practice so that our staff knew where to go and how we could set up material. If February 22nd, quite honestly, had hit without any of that practice, I doubt there'd have been a paper the next day. We were lucky, arguably, because we have such a large organisation. We had news teams on the road coming from other places in the South Island as soon as the February quake hit. We had senior staff on site within 24 hours, photographers and picture editors from Sydney and Canberra, and we would have had more if we'd wanted it. At some stage I had 7 past or present editors on site within the editorial team simply to give me a hand. No egos. Everybody was there to do the job for their community and get their information out there. And I think this still applies to even the small independents here, that you might feel you're overwhelmed in a situation like that, but in fact if you put your hand up, you'll find that the response will be overwhelming. You're going to get the help you need. What we've got is a whole lot of people who are all dealing with the same issue, so they watch each other's back. They really do care for each other in a whole lot of different ways. And the second thing that I think that's saving us is an extraordinary response from our community of thanks and appreciation for what the paper has been doing for them. That the fact that we publish the day after, the fact that we continue to publish, and now 6 months on that we give the Minister of Earthquake Recovery a hard time, so much that he hates us. The local mayor loathes us and barely ever wants to talk to us. So the fact that we're still doing that advocacy on behalf of the community, I think, makes a big difference. So when you've got that, those sort of elements, then at the moment, the heart's pretty good.